Hey everybody, this is the Jamu from the K-Bell Training Academy, and we have relaunched our website. It is now a networking site all about the topics of kettlebell training. So we have all of our trainers on there, and we're inviting consumers, regular users, to come to our site and check it out and interact with some of our fitness professionals, find a fitness professional that works for you, and learn how to use kettlebells in a way that will work efficiently for you. So this is one of my first videos about that, and the topic that I'm going to talk about today, who I'm speaking to today, are guys over 40. And yes, I am 40, going on 41 in December, so I can talk about it. Okay, yes, that's what you should look like at 40. You have no excuses. Sorry to tell you that, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is if you're over 40, why you should be doing kettlebell lifting. And so I have a couple of points, and I'm going to demonstrate some exercises, and hopefully you guys learn something, absorb something, and come and find me or one of my trainers so we can help you learn how to do this. Okay, so number one, if you're over 40, you don't want to be big. Well, the truth is it's too late to get big. If you're not big already, it's not going to happen. I mean, it could happen, but you'd have to cheat, you know what I mean? So you're not going to do that. So like, you know, everybody I meet who's in training, my clients, etc., on the floor who are, you know, 35 and up, what they basically say is, you know, I don't want to get big anymore. I just want to be toned and sleek and athletic and feel fit. The challenge I have with that is when I meet most people on the floor like that, you're still lifting weights like you did when you were 21 years old. And I understand why. It's because that's the way you've always done it, and it worked when you were 21. But you're not 21 anymore, so it's time to do something different. So here's my point. If you want a forever body, you have to do something different. You've got to move yourself in a different direction. In a nutshell, I'm going to demonstrate exercises in it later on, but if there was a combination, I would suggest that you try to get that body. It would be a combination of yoga and kettlebells. If you were to put those together and make that the core of your workout, you would learn very quickly how to get range, mobility, strength, agility, and core strength really quick. Okay, so that's point number one. You need to change what you're doing as you get older if you want that forever body. Point number two, guys over 40, time, hormones, family, work, none of these things are working in your direction when it comes to fitness. It's just really hard to get it in, and it's really hard to get it in at the level of intensity that you want. Kettlebell lifting is the most efficient way to have a strength and cardio workout, period. Like, there's just nothing else out there that will match it. All due respect, CrossFit included. If you're trying to balance yourself and just have a really healthy feeling body, great looking body, a good balance of mobility, pain-free, strength, core, just being able to do whatever you want at a really high level, you need to incorporate kettlebell lifting into your workouts. And so I'm going to show you some exercises again. So here's a fact I can give you. You will get more done in a 20-minute kettlebell workout than you can do in 1 hour of traditional lifting, period. And, you know, so what will you do with the other 40 minutes that you have left? Well, stretch, cardio, swim, recover, maybe go home and be with your family, whatever else you want to do. But you don't need to be, if your workout's taking you 1 hour and 15 minutes, it's too long, especially at this point in your life. It just shouldn't be. So you need to find a more efficient way to do it. So I'm highly recommending you turn yourself into a kettlebell lifter. Point number three, you need to find a way to achieve functional strength. If you think about the lifting that you're doing right now, you know, chest day, back day, arm day, leg day, you know, that's what we call body building. You are building your body parts. However, at this point in your life, that's just not going to work for you. What you need is your body to move as a unit efficiently, effectively. If you're a weekend warrior playing hockey or soccer or baseball, whatever it is, and you want to avoid injuries, strength training is not helping you. You need something that's going to increase your mobility and your range, so when you swing, when you hit, when you get hit, you're able to handle it and recover really, really quickly. The number one thing I can tell you about kettlebell lifting is that it will make your body darn near injury proof. Now listen, I can't say you'll never get injured, but I can say that kettlebell training works your ligaments and your joints in a way that it extends them and it strengthens them. And so things that used to hurt don't hurt as much. We call it prehab training. Kettlebell lifters learn how to work their joints in a more complete range of motion. They learn how to work their muscular, cardiovascular, and their skeletal system all. That's how we train kettlebells. That's the only way to train kettlebells successfully. Okay, and so that's point number 3 as to why you guys should do this. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as my last 3 points. So what I'm going to do now is show you the 3 best lifts that you should learn to do if you're going to learn to be a kettlebell lifter. Okay, I have another post where I'm going to talk about there's a difference between lifting a kettlebell and being a kettlebell lifter. So notice I've said I want you to be a kettlebell lifter, because a lot of you guys are lifting kettlebells already. Like you're doing stuff like this and whatever the heck that is. Like that's not kettlebell lifting, sorry. There are some specific exercises that kettlebell lifters do. Cleans and jerks and snatches and windmills. And so I'm going to demonstrate some of these for you guys right now. So the number 1 exercise that you should learn if you want to be a kettlebell lifter is the kettlebell snatch, okay? And I'm going to demonstrate it to you right now, and I'm going to show you the pieces that you need to learn to get good at that, okay? So piece number 1, if you were to learn how to do kettlebell snatch, would be to learn how to do an overhead lunge. So this is a 16 kilogram kettlebell, okay? And I'm going to show you guys how to do overhead lunge with it. This is your thumb corner. You put your thumb corner in the corner of the bell, okay? And you're going to bring it to what we call the rack position. We can talk about that. We have videos on that specifically. But your hand is all the way in, not in the palm. Okay, so the overhead lunge, you use your legs and you push the kettlebell over your head using your legs, and then you lock out with a straight arm. Now notice my arm is straight. It's not bent. Now if you're pushing up and this is where your arm is, this is part of what you need to learn to be a good kettlebell lifter. You've got to learn how to get to a lockout, and that may take time, and that's good because that is you learning how to get full range of motion, okay? An overhead lunge looks like this. Okay, I'll show you guys from the side. Okay, so you can keep everything in a nice straight line, and you can lunge forward, or it's easier if you lunge backwards. Doesn't really matter, but this is going to teach you a position we call fixate, or to lock out and control the bell. And if being in this position, you have to learn how to control the kettlebell from the shoulder girdle, your core, and your hip. Okay, so that's part number 1 to learning how to do a snatch. Part number 2 is learning how to backswing and accelerate the bell. Okay, so this move we call it clean. Backswing, insert, control. Backswing, insert, control. From the side, backswing, insert, control. Okay? When you combine those 2 movements together, you can do a snatch. The snatch looks like this. Backswing, insert, lockout. Backswing, insert, lockout. Backswing, insert, lockout. Okay? That's the kettlebell snatch. One of the kings of the kettlebell exercises. We will talk in a different post about how many you should be doing and how to work yourself up to that, but that is an exercise you must learn how to do if you want to be a great kettlebell lifter and if you want to have this. Exercise number 2, kettlebell windmill, okay? Again, I'm going to give you guys a precursor movement into this one. So, to do an effective windmill, you've got to get long, strong hamstrings in the low back. And to do that, you can start with something we call a good morning, a body weight good morning. So I take my fingers, interlock them together, behind my back, squeeze my shoulders back, heels are on the floor, and just practicing getting to this position right here. Okay? Using the strength in your legs and your back and your hips, just to pull you down. Now, for many of you guys, that will feel very challenging because it's a bit of a stretch. It's going to elongate the muscles in your back, and your hamstrings, and your glutes. And that's good, because when those muscles are long and strong, they don't hurt. So if your back muscles are hurting you, if you have back pain of any sort, you should do this a lot. and it will help that go away, okay? So that's a good morning. The next thing you would do is you could take that movement and you could load it with weight. So here's my kettlebell again. This is what we call the catcher's grip, okay? And you're gonna take this grip, shoulder blades together, keep your elbows under the weight as much as you can, and you're gonna do a good morning one more time. Squeeze it back to the top. Squeeze it back to the top, okay? So it's the exact same movement you were doing before, except for this time you're loaded with weight. So you're stretching and strengthening all under load. And this is an example of how kettlebell movements work. What we do in kettlebell lifting is we work the extension of our muscles with tension behind it, and we learn to control that. And as you learn to control that, well, it leads to a longer, leaner, fitter body. So that's it in a nutshell. Okay, so once you have those movements done, and considering now, I showed you the overhead lunge before, we're going to combine those together for a windmill. Thumb corner, insert, okay, push to top of my head. So now, I would describe a windmill as a twisted good morning. So I'm going to turn my body to the side, okay? Kettlebell's up in the air, my hip is going to go backwards, and I'm going to keep my eyes up and I'm going to reach and squeeze myself up using my glutes. One more time. Squeeze myself up. Now if that seems really hard at first, I'll give you guys a different version. That first one's called a high windmill. This is called a low windmill. Exact same thing. Exact same setup, okay? I would practice this one with this arm up in the air because it'll give you the sensation you need to work on when you're doing this is you've got to learn how to squeeze your lats really tight, get tight through your obliques, and all of the weight is in this back leg, okay? So imagine the weight's up there, then I'm going to reach down to the floor, I'm going to grab the kettlebell, I'm going to tighten up, and I'm going to pull and lift it, and squeeze and push it. Pull and lift, okay? And so that's an example of a low windmill. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys are going to reach out to myself or one of the trainers on the site and follow some of our exercises or come out and talk to one of us and have us help you turn yourself into a kettlebell lifter so you can build that forever body for 50, 60, 70, 80, all the way until you're ready to float to the next plane. Bless you guys all. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon.